Bruno Fernandes and the big Anfield test. What Amorim really said. Welcome back to United Daily Updates, your trusted source for everything Manchester United. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, what are you waiting for? We bring you the latest news, match analysis, and exclusive insights about our beloved Red Devils every single day. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now let us get into today's massive topic. Introduction. Picture this. You are standing in one of the most intense football stadiums in the world. 50,000 voices are screaming at you. Every mistake you make gets amplified 10 times over. The pressure is crushing. And then you get a penalty. The chance to silence the crowd. The chance to give your team the lead. But you have missed your last 2 penalties. What do you do? This is the exact situation Bruno Fernandes might face today at Anfield. And Ruben Amorim, our manager, has just made his decision crystal clear. Bruno stays as our penalty taker. No questions asked. Full backing. Complete trust. But is this the right call? Should United stick with Bruno despite his recent struggles from the spot? And more importantly, can our boys handle the Anfield atmosphere when Liverpool are desperate for a win? These are the questions on every United fan's mind right now. Today we are going deep into everything Amorim said before this massive match. We will talk about Bruno's penalty situation, the mental side of taking spot kicks, the Anfield factor, and what this all means for United's season. Grab your coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let us break down everything you need to know about this huge Premier League showdown. The penalty problem nobody saw coming. Let us start with the elephant in the room. Bruno Fernandes has been one of the most reliable penalty takers in world football since he joined Manchester United. When he stepped up to the spot, you could almost guarantee it was going in. Almost. This season has been different though. Really different. Bruno has taken 3 penalties for United this season and missed 2 of them. That is a 33% miss rate. For someone with Bruno's track record, this is shocking. We are talking about a player who has built a reputation on being ice cold from 12 yards. The first miss came against Fulham in a match that ended in a draw. United needed that goal. The momentum was with us. Bruno stepped up and missed. It hurt, but we thought it was just one of those days. Everyone misses sometimes, right? Then came the Brentford game. Another penalty. Another chance for Bruno to put things right. Another miss. This time it cost us even more because we lost that match. 2 penalties missed. 2 points dropped at minimum. Suddenly people started asking questions. Should Bruno still be taking our penalties? Does he have the confidence anymore? Is the pressure getting to him? Has the magic gone? These questions spread like wildfire through social media and fan forums. Everyone had an opinion. Some wanted Bruno dropped as penalty taker immediately. Others said we should stick with him because of his overall record. Now here is where it gets interesting. Ruben Amorim faced the media before the Liverpool game and addressed this head-on. No dancing around the issue. No corporate speak. Just honest answers about his captain and the penalty situation. What Amorim actually said about Bruno. Amorim did not hide from the tough questions. When asked about Bruno and penalties, he gave us real insight into his thinking. And honestly, his words tell us a lot about the kind of manager he is. First, Amorim put things in perspective. He pointed out that Bruno has taken around 70 penalties in his career and missed only 9 of them. Yes, 2 of those 9 misses have come under Amorim's management, which the boss joked made him really annoyed. But look at those numbers properly. That is roughly an 87% success rate over his entire career. Most penalty takers would kill for those statistics. Think about it this way. If you took 70 math tests and passed 61 of them, that is still a really good record. Sure, failing 2 tests recently stings, but it does not erase all your previous success. This is basically what Amorim is saying about Bruno. But here is what really stood out from Amorim's comments. He said Bruno is really confident. Not kind of confident. Not trying to rebuild confidence. Really confident. That is a strong statement to make about a player who just missed 2 penalties in a row. Amorim went further. He revealed that Bruno has been training penalties specifically. He is not just hoping things will improve. He is working on it. Studying it. Bruno understands that opponents and goalkeepers have been watching how he takes penalties. They have noticed his patterns. They have studied his technique. So Bruno is adapting. He is changing things up. He is evolving his approach. This shows incredible mental strength if you ask me. A weaker player might avoid penalty practice after 2 misses. They might hope the problem goes away on its own. Bruno is doing the opposite. He is confronting the issue directly and working to fix it. Amorim also mentioned that United have other options for penalties if needed. The summer signings of Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and Benjamin Sesko give United backup penalty takers. All three are capable forwards who could step up if required. But when pressed directly on whether Bruno would keep the responsibility, Amorim was clear. Yes. Bruno is the main taker. Then came the key line. Amorim said he is fully confident that Bruno will sort this out. Not fairly confident. Not reasonably confident. Fully confident. That is a manager putting his complete backing behind his player when it would be easier to hedge his bets or create some doubt. Why this decision matters so much? Some people might think this is just about penalties. Just about one small part of the game. But it is so much bigger than that. Let me explain why this decision from Amorim is absolutely massive for Manchester United. First, this is about trust. Football is a game of confidence and belief. When a manager publicly backs a player who is going through a rough patch, it sends a message to everyone. It tells the player you believe in them. It tells the squad that you do not abandon your teammates when things get hard. It tells the world that United stands by its people. Bruno Fernandes is not just any player. He is our captain. He wears the armband. He is supposed to lead by example and inspire the team. If Amorim had taken penalties away from Bruno, what message would that send? It would look like the manager does not trust his captain in pressure moments. That kind of thing can destroy a player's confidence completely. Remember what happened with other top players who lost penalty duties after missing? Some never fully recovered mentally. The doubt creeps in. They start second-guessing themselves in other areas of their game. Before you know it, a world-class player is performing way below their level because their confidence is shot. By keeping Bruno as the main penalty taker, Amorim is saying I believe in you when you need it most. That kind of support from your manager can be the difference between a player bouncing back stronger or spiraling into worse form. Second, this is about leadership. Part of being captain means taking responsibility in the biggest moments. Penalties are about as big as moments get in football. If Bruno stepped away from penalties now, it would look like he is avoiding responsibility. That is not what you want from your captain. Great captains face their problems head-on. They do not run from challenges. They step up when things are hardest. By continuing to take penalties despite recent misses, Bruno is showing leadership. He is saying I am not afraid. I will face this challenge. I will fix this problem. That is the mentality you want from your captain. Third, this is about belief in the process. Amorim clearly believes that Bruno's overall penalty record speaks for itself. 2 misses do not erase years of success. If you have a player who has scored 61 out of 70 penalties, you stick with them through a rough patch. You trust the data. You trust the long-term track record. This is the same principle that applies in so many areas of life. If you have a friend who has been reliable for years and then lets you down twice, do you write them off completely? Or do you remember all the times they came through for you and give them another chance? Most of us would choose the second option. That is what Amorim is doing with Bruno. The mental game of penalty taking. Now let us talk about what actually happens in a player's mind when they take a penalty. Because understanding this helps explain why Amorim support is so important and why 2 misses can shake even the best penalty takers. Taking a penalty looks simple from the outside. You place the ball 12 yards from goal. The goalkeeper has to stay on their line until you kick it. The goal is big. You just need to pick a spot and hit it. Easy, right? Wrong. Penalties are one of the most mentally challenging things in football. Here is why. First, there is the pressure of expectation. Everyone expects you to score. Penalties have a success rate of around 75 to 80% at the highest level. So when you step up, the assumption is that you will score. Missing feels like a massive failure because you have disappointed everyone's expectations. Second, there is time to think. In regular play, things happen fast. You do not have time to overthink. But with a penalty, you have several seconds where everyone is watching you. The whole stadium goes quiet or gets loud depending on which team they support. All eyes are on you. That thinking time can be deadly if doubt creeps in. Third, there is the technical challenge. Yes, the goal is big, but the goalkeeper is studying you. They have watched videos of your previous penalties. They know your tendencies. Do you usually go left? Do you look at the goalkeeper before you shoot? Do you stutter in your run-up? Professional goalkeepers and their coaches analyze all of this. This is exactly what Amorim mentioned. He said Bruno understands that people are watching the way he scores penalties. Goalkeepers have figured out his patterns. So Bruno needs to adapt. He needs to change things up. Maybe go to different corners. Maybe adjust his run-up. Maybe change how he strikes the ball. This is an ongoing chess match between penalty taker and goalkeeper. Fourth, there is the weight of history. Once you miss one penalty, the pressure increases for the next one. Everyone remembers the miss. Fans are nervous. Teammates might be nervous. You can feel that energy. And if you miss again, suddenly people start questioning if you should still be taking them. This is where Bruno finds himself right now. The mental side of penalties is so important that some teams hire sports psychologists specifically to work with penalty takers. They practice visualization. They work on breathing techniques. They develop routines to manage pressure. Taking penalties is as much about mental strength as it is about technical ability. This is why Amorim's public backing matters so much. By telling the world he has full confidence in Bruno, he is removing some of that mental burden. He is saying, even if you miss, I still believe in you. That kind of support from your manager can free up a player mentally to just focus on the technique without being paralyzed by fear of failure. Bruno's penalty record, the full picture. Let us zoom out and look at Bruno's complete penalty record because context really matters here. Yes, he has missed 2 out of 3 this season with United. But what about the bigger picture? According to Amorim, Bruno has taken around 70 penalties in his career and missed approximately 9. That works out to about an 87% success rate. To put that in perspective, that is excellent. Really excellent. Most top penalty takers hover around the 75 to 85% range. Some of the absolute best get into the high 80s or low 90s over their career. Bruno is right up there with the elite penalty takers in world football based on his overall record. Let us think about some of the legendary penalty takers. Even they missed penalties. Alan Shearer missed penalties. Thierry Henry missed penalties. Cristiano Ronaldo has missed penalties. Lionel Messi has missed penalties. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has a perfect penalty record over full career. It is impossible. At some point, every penalty taker goes through a spell where they miss a couple. The key is how you respond. Do you let those misses destroy your confidence? Or do you learn from them, adjust, and come back stronger? The great penalty takers always do the latter. And everything we are hearing suggests Bruno is taking the right approach. Remember that Bruno has been United's penalty taker since he arrived from Sporting Lisbon. How many big moments has he delivered for us from the spot? How many times has he scored crucial penalties when we desperately needed them? Loads of times. He has been clutch for United again and again. One bad run does not erase all of that. Football fans can have short memories sometimes. We focus on what happened last week and forget everything that came before. But managers cannot afford to think that way. They need to look at the full body of work. And Bruno's full body of work on penalties is outstanding. There is another factor to consider too. Penalties come in different situations with different levels of pressure. Some penalties are in the 5th minute of a match that is already 3-0. Low pressure. Some penalties are in the 89th minute of a cup final. Maximum pressure. Not all penalties are equal. We don't know all the details about every penalty Bruno has taken, but we do know he has delivered in huge moments before. That experience matters. When the pressure is at its highest, you want someone who has been there before. Someone who has felt that pressure and succeeded. Bruno has that experience. So when you look at the complete picture, the decision to stick with Bruno makes total sense. You have a player with an 87% career success rate who is going through a temporary rough patch. You have a captain who is mentally strong and working to fix the problem. You have a manager who believes in him. All of that points toward keeping him as the main penalty taker. The Anfield factor. Why this match is different. Now let us shift gears and talk about the other massive topic from Amorim's press conference. The Anfield atmosphere. Because if you have ever watched a match at Anfield, you know it is a completely different animal compared to most stadiums. Anfield is one of the most intense football stadiums in the world. The Liverpool fans create an atmosphere that can be absolutely suffocating for visiting teams. The famous Kop stand generates noise that feels like it is physically pushing you backwards. Players talk about how the ground seems to shake. How the roar of the crowd affects your ability to think clearly. There is a reason Liverpool has such a strong home record over the years. Anfield gives them a genuine advantage. Visiting players get nervous. They make mistakes they would not normally make. They rush things. The pressure gets to them. United are heading into this cauldron today. And it is not just any Liverpool team. It is a Liverpool side that is desperate for a result. According to the article, Liverpool are coming off a 3-match losing streak going into the international break. They need to bounce back. They need to make a statement. Their fans will be absolutely fired up to see them get revenge. So the question everyone is asking is, can United handle it? Can our players deal with that level of intensity? Will the atmosphere get to them? Amorim addressed this directly and his answer was fascinating. He basically said we have done it before and we can do it again. He pointed to last season when he was still at Sporting Lisbon and faced Liverpool at Anfield. That match ended 2-2. Sporting did not get overwhelmed. They competed. They got a result. But Amorim went deeper than just saying we can handle it. He broke down what actually matters when playing in a hostile atmosphere like Anfield. And his insights are really interesting. How United plans to handle the Anfield pressure. Amorim made several key points about dealing with the Anfield atmosphere and they tell us a lot about his mentality as a manager. First, he said the way United starts the match is more important than the environment. This is huge. What he is saying is that if United comes out strong, plays with confidence, and executes their game plan from the first whistle, the atmosphere becomes less of a factor. Think about it this way. If United scores early, suddenly that intimidating Anfield crowd goes quiet. The energy shifts. Liverpool fans get nervous instead of confident. The whole dynamic changes. But if United starts slowly and Liverpool gets an early goal or chance, the place erupts and the pressure multiplies. This is why Amorim puts so much emphasis on starting well. The first 10 to 15 minutes will set the tone for everything that follows. United needs to be switched on from second one. No slow starts. No feeling their way into the game. They need to hit Liverpool hard and fast. Second, Amorim acknowledged that the atmosphere will be loud, especially during certain moments. When Liverpool wins a corner, when they have a good opportunity, when something goes in their favour, the crowd will roar. United needs to be ready for that. They cannot let those moments shake them. This is where mental preparation comes in. Amorim talked about the importance of a really good warm-up. This is not just about getting your muscles ready. It is about getting your mind in the right place. Feeling the atmosphere during warm-ups so it does not shock you when the match starts. Understanding what is coming and being mentally prepared for it. He also emphasized that the team needs to understand it will be tough in the first moments. This is about setting realistic expectations. Do not expect to waltz into Anfield and have it be easy. Expect a battle. Expect intensity. Expect to be pushed to your limits. When you expect difficulty, you handle it better than if you expect it to be easy and then get surprised. Third, and this really caught my attention, Amorim said that sometimes his teams play better in hostile away environments than under the pressure of playing at home. This is a really interesting psychological point. Some players thrive when everyone is against them. When they are the underdogs. When the crowd is hostile. It brings out something extra in them. They play with more freedom because the expectations are lower. Nobody expects them to win at a place like Anfield, so there is less pressure in some ways than playing at Old Trafford where everyone expects you to dominate. Amorim seems to believe his United team might be wired this way. Or at least he is trying to frame it that way for his players. He wants them to see Anfield not as this scary place they should fear, but as an opportunity to show what they are made of. To prove themselves. To feed off the hostile energy rather than be intimidated by it. The psychology of playing at Anfield. Let us dig deeper into what makes Anfield so challenging and how teams can overcome it. Because this is not just about United and Liverpool. This is about understanding how atmosphere affects football matches. Research has shown that crowd noise genuinely impacts player performance. Studies have found that hostile crowds can increase anxiety in visiting players, leading to more mistakes and worse decision-making. The noise makes communication harder. Players cannot hear their teammates as well. Instructions from the manager on the sideline get lost in the roar. Crowd noise also affects referees, whether they admit it or not. Multiple studies have shown that referees give more favorable decisions to home teams, especially in high-pressure moments. This is not because referees are corrupt. It is because they are human and the crowd influences their subconscious decision-making. So when United walks out at Anfield today, they are facing a genuine psychological challenge. The question is, how do they overcome it? The best teams deal with hostile atmospheres by focusing on what they can control. They cannot control the crowd. They cannot control the referee. They cannot control Liverpool's energy. But they can control their own effort, their own focus, their own game plan. This is why Amorim talked so much about preparation. About the warm-up. About being mentally ready. About understanding what is coming. All of that is about controlling the controllables. You prepare so well that when the chaos hits, you have something solid to fall back on. Great teams also use hostile atmospheres as motivation. They take pride in silencing a loud crowd. There is something special about scoring a goal at a place like Anfield and hearing 50,000 people go quiet at once. That feeling can drive players to perform above their normal level. United has had success at Anfield before. We have won there. We have gotten big results there. So the players know it is possible. They have the blueprint. They have seen it done. Now they need to execute. What United needs to do today. Based on everything Amorim said and everything we know about this match, let us talk about what United actually needs to do to get a result at Anfield today. First and most important, start fast. Amorim could not have been clearer about this. The opening period will determine everything. United cannot afford to spend the first 15 minutes just trying to survive. They need to be on the front foot. They need to press. They need to show intensity. They need to match Liverpool's energy from the first second. If United can make it to the 20-minute mark at 0-0 or better yet with a lead, the whole complexion of the match changes. Liverpool starts feeling pressure. Their fans start getting nervous. United grows in confidence. But if Liverpool scores early, it becomes a very long afternoon for the visitors. This is where having quality forwards matters. This is where composure matters. Do not snatch at chances. Stay calm. Pick your spot. Finish professionally. United has the attacking talent to score at Anfield. They just need to be efficient with their opportunities. Fourth, stay disciplined. Anfield is the kind of place where frustration can boil over. The crowd is in your ear. Every decision goes against you. Liverpool players are in your face. It would be easy to lose your cool and pick up a stupid yellow or red card. United cannot afford that. They need all 11 players on the pitch for the full 90 minutes. No silly fouls. No arguing with the referee. No retaliation. Just focus on the football and do not give Liverpool or the referee any excuses. Fifth, if United gets a penalty, Bruno needs to score. Simple as that. After everything Amorim has said about backing him, if Bruno gets the chance to step up at Anfield, he needs to deliver. That would be the perfect way to answer all the doubters. To show the mental strength to miss two and then score a huge one at one of the toughest grounds in football. Can you imagine the confidence boost that would give Bruno and the entire team? It would be a massive statement. And based on what Amorim said about Bruno's confidence and preparation, there is reason to believe he would come through. Why this match matters for United's season. Let us zoom out even further and talk about why this match is so important for Manchester United's season overall. First, it is a chance to build momentum. According to the article, United have not won back-to-back Premier League matches under Amorim yet. That is a concerning stat. At some point, United needs to put together a run of results. They need to build confidence through winning consistently. Getting a result at Anfield would be huge for momentum. It would show the team they can compete with the best. It would give them belief going forward. And if they could follow an Anfield result with another win in their next match, suddenly you have that back-to-back wins milestone achieved and some real momentum building. Second, it is a statement match. Liverpool are one of United's biggest rivals. Anfield is one of the toughest places to go. Getting a result there sends a message to the entire league. It says Manchester United is back. We can compete with anyone anywhere. Do not count us out. That kind of statement result can shift how other teams view you. Instead of seeing United as a team they can beat, suddenly opponents start fearing them again. That psychological shift can be worth points over the course of a season. Third, it is a test of Amorim's methods. The United job is Amorim's biggest challenge yet. He is still relatively early in his tenure. Fans are still evaluating him. Getting a result at Anfield would validate his approach. It would show that his ideas work at the highest level against top competition. On the flip side, a bad loss would raise questions. People would wonder if Amorim is the right man for the job. If his tactics work in the Premier League. If he can handle the pressure of managing Manchester United. So there is a lot riding on this match for the manager as well as the players. Fourth, every point matters in the race for top four. The Premier League is incredibly competitive. The difference between 4th place and 7th place often comes down to just a few points over the course of the season. Dropping points at places like Anfield is somewhat expected, but getting a result there gives you a cushion elsewhere. If United can grab even a draw at Anfield, that is a point gained compared to expectations. Do that a few times over the season and suddenly you have accumulated enough points to finish in the Champions League spots. Those big match results are what separate good seasons from average ones. The broader picture, building a culture. There is something else happening here that goes beyond just one match. What Amorim is doing with Bruno and the penalty situation is part of building a culture at Manchester United. Think about the message Amorim is sending to every player in that dressing room. He is saying when you struggle, I will back you. I will not throw you under the bus. I will support you publicly and give you the chance to work through your problems. That kind of culture is massive for a football club. Players need to know their manager has their back. They need to feel secure enough to take risks, to be brave, to step up in big moments. If they are constantly afraid of being dropped or criticized publicly after one bad game, they play scared. They play safe. They do not express their full ability. By backing Bruno despite the penalty misses, Amorim is building trust. He is showing every player that loyalty goes both ways. You give me everything on the pitch, and I will support you when things get hard. That creates a strong bond between manager and players. This is especially important at a club like Manchester United, where the pressure is intense and the media scrutiny is relentless. Players need to feel like the manager and the club are a safe space, that they can go through rough patches without being destroyed by external noise. Amorim is also building accountability into the culture though. Notice he did not just say Bruno can keep taking penalties no matter what. He said Bruno is working on it. Training specifically. Adapting his approach. There is an expectation that Bruno will fix this problem through hard work. That is the balance you want. Support your players but also demand that they put in the work to improve. Give them chances but expect them to earn it through effort and dedication. This creates a culture where players feel supported but also pushed to be their best. You can see Amorim building this culture in other ways too. The way he talked about how Bruno watches every match on TV while some other players do not. He was not harshly critical of the players who do not watch matches. He said they have other distractions and if they want to do something different, that is okay as long as they perform. This shows flexibility in his management style. He understands that different players have different personalities and routines. Some are football-obsessed like Bruno. Others need time away from the game to recharge mentally. As long as they deliver on match day, Amorim seems fine with different approaches. This kind of flexible man management tends to work well with modern players. They appreciate being treated as individuals rather than being forced into one rigid system. It builds trust and gets better performances out of the squad. Learning from other managers. It is worth looking at how other top managers have handled similar situations. Because the question of whether to stick with or drop a struggling penalty taker is not unique to United and Bruno. Think about Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. There have been times when City penalty takers have missed and Pep has stuck with them. He understands that confidence is fragile and taking penalties away can do more harm than good. He backs his players and trusts their quality to come through. Then you have managers who have made the opposite call, who have pulled the penalty duties from a player after misses. Sometimes this works out. The player gets relieved of that pressure and plays better in other areas. But often it damages the relationship and the player's overall confidence suffers. There is no one right answer. It depends on the player, the situation, the manager's relationship with the player, and so many other factors. But generally speaking, the top managers tend to back their best players through rough patches rather than abandon them at the first sign of trouble. Sir Alex Ferguson was the master of this. He would publicly back players who were struggling, giving them the confidence to work through their issues. He understood that loyalty breeds loyalty. When you support your players, they run through walls for you. They give you everything because they know you believe in them. Amorim seems to be cut from similar cloth. He is showing Ferguson-like loyalty to his captain. Time will tell if it works out, but the approach is sound. Trust your best players. Back them publicly. Give them the platform to succeed. More often than not, quality players respond to that kind of support. The role of confidence in football. Let us talk more broadly about confidence in football because it really is everything. You can have all the talent in the world, but without confidence, you cannot express it. Think about players who move from one club to another and look like completely different players. Same player, same ability, but totally different performances. What changed? Often it is confidence. One club believed in them, gave them freedom, backed them through mistakes. The other club was more critical, less supportive, quicker to drop them. Confidence affects everything in football. Your first touch, your passing, your shooting, your decision-making. When you are confident, everything feels easy. The ball sticks to your foot. Passes hit their target. Goals seem inevitable. But when confidence drains away, everything becomes hard. Easy passes go astray. Shots miss the target. Doubt creeps into every decision. This is why the mental side of football is so crucial. Technique matters obviously. Tactics matter. Physical fitness matters. But at the elite level where everyone has great technique and fitness, the mental side becomes the deciding factor. The best players and the best teams are the ones who can maintain confidence through adversity. Who can lose on Saturday and still believe they will win on Wednesday. Who can miss a penalty and step up to take the next one without fear. This is what separates legends from good players. The legends have that unshakable self-belief. They have been through the tough times and come out stronger. They do not let setbacks destroy them. They use setbacks as fuel. Bruno Fernandes has shown throughout his career that he has this mentality. He is a winner. He demands the ball in big moments. He wants the responsibility. That is exactly what you want from your captain and star player. 2 penalty misses are not going to change who Bruno is fundamentally. He will work through this. He will adapt. He will come back stronger. Everything in his track record suggests this. And Amorim clearly believes it too based on his comments. What fans need to understand. Now let me talk directly to United fans for a moment. Because I think there are some important things we need to understand as supporters. First, players are human. They are not robots. They will have bad days. They will go through rough patches. They will make mistakes. This is inevitable in sport. Nobody performs at 100% all the time. It is impossible. When Bruno misses penalties, it is not because he does not care. It is not because he is not trying. It is not because he has suddenly forgotten how to kick a ball. It is because penalties are hard and sometimes even the best miss them. That is football. As fans, our job is to support our players through the tough times, not just celebrate them during the good times. Bruno has brought us so many big moments, so many important goals, so much quality since joining United. 2 penalty misses do not erase all of that. We need to keep perspective. Second, we need to trust the process. Amorim is a quality manager. He has proven that. He sees Bruno in training every day. He talks to him regularly. He understands the situation far better than we do watching from the outside. If Amorim believes Bruno should keep taking penalties, we should trust that judgment. Fans sometimes think they know better than the manager. We watch the matches and think we have all the answers. But we do not see the full picture. We do not know what is happening behind the scenes. We do not understand all the factors that go into these decisions. We need to trust that the manager is making informed choices. Third, we need to create a positive atmosphere. When players are struggling, the worst thing fans can do is turn on them, booing them, criticizing them harshly on social media. That just makes everything worse. It adds more pressure. It drains confidence further. What players need when they are struggling is support, encouragement, belief. When Bruno steps up for his next penalty, we need to be behind him 100%, cheering him on, believing he will score, creating positive energy. That gives him the best chance to succeed. Football is emotional and sometimes we get frustrated when things are not going well. That is natural. But we need to channel that emotion in productive ways. Get behind the team. Support the players. Trust the process. That is what real fans do. The bigger questions about United's season. While we are focused on penalties and the Liverpool match, there are bigger questions about Manchester United's season that this situation touches on. The big one is, can United get back to being genuine title contenders? Right now, that seems like a distant dream. United are not even guarantees for top 4. There is a lot of work to do. But you have to start somewhere. Building a title-challenging team takes time. It takes getting the culture right. It takes developing a clear identity and style of play. It takes players believing in the manager and each other. It takes accumulating points through winning the matches you should win and grabbing results in the tough matches. The Bruno penalty situation is a small part of this bigger picture. It is about whether Amorim can build a culture of trust and confidence. About whether he can get the best out of his best players. About whether United can handle pressure moments. If Amorim gets this right, if he successfully backs Bruno and Bruno responds, it sets a positive tone. It shows the culture is moving in the right direction. But if it goes wrong, if Bruno keeps missing and Amorim has to eventually pull the penalty duties, it raises questions about whether things are really improving.